So
okay,
let me basically hit this on the head. I understand that there are a lot of people who want to play gotcha out there.
Get away from me, you horse's ass!
And if they don't see anything spectacular smash into the moon, they're going to say, oh, Hoagland's wrong. But I'm telling you that the actual criteria where any sane person will look at this will be, did the trajectory move? Because if this is intended for a narrow audience of policy people, like the folks that actually know how to think, like
the Martian Revelator,
you know,
you're a little more radical.
Or at least
it could be intended. It could be intended for a wider audience, like all our listeners. You know,
they have to bring a brain to the table and say, okay, the real criteria is, did that trajectory move? And if it's moved, there's nothing that can move it except an intelligent force, an intelligent operator. Somebody out there kicked it, gave it a tweak, pulsed it with a tractor beam. Whatever you want to call it. And that is huge news. Now, will it show up on CNN? Probably not.
That's the fact, Jack!
Because that will mean it's been designed, pun intended, to fly under the radar. It's only intended for a certain audience and not for everybody.
That's the fact, Jack!
Which is the same stupid games they've been playing for the last thousands of years. I'm hoping that whoever's behind this is it. This is the end of that kind of game playing, and it's going to create one hell of a show because that's the only thing that will appeal to people, obviously.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's good or bad. Say, listen, Richard, I have another question that
okay.
just don't take it wrong. Richard, have you ever withheld important information from the people who are trying to find out the truth?
Of course.
You have?
Yeah, of course.
And what is that an okay thing
criteria?
To do? Pardon?
Do you want to know my criteria?
Yes.
When I'm uncertain. Why get everybody excited about something when the numbers don't pan out and you're uncertain yourself as to whether it's going to happen or not? If I wasn't really kind of confident that this is going to happen, I wouldn't have opened my mouth. I understand exactly what credibility is.
You're a lying sack of shit.
Dr. Hoagland.
And everybody knows it.
And what I'm putting myself in line for in terms of criticism.
Hey, you're really trying to be accurate.
But to me, the bigger picture is people need to be aware of what could happen, because if it happened without blowing the whistle on it, an awful lot of honest people will freak out, and people could get killed by stupidity on the part of their neighbors.
All right, we do have another caller on the line, Francis.
Okay, I do want to, before we get to the callers, I want to go ahead and just finish off this portion with Richard. Callers, I didn't take callers with Richard because, one, I only thought I was going to get a half an hour, then he ended up going another half an hour, and I really, inside me, I feel like what he's got to say is important, and we need to hear it and observe it so that in future events we can put the information in its proper place for our future searches, because I'm going to tell you, if I know anything, there is going to be a future of searching for things in space, and we're going to just have to ride with it. And I feel like this type of conversation is leading me more toward the research that's going to give us, in the end, a reasonable expectation of what's going on.
All right, we do have another caller on the line, Francis.
Hoagland, you know, what about that face on Mars? I mean, come on, man. That really is just, you know, the landscape.
That's a segue. That's a segue question, and I'm going to answer this. And I appreciate you calling, because this is going to segue into, I think, my next caller and my next discussion. Okay. Because I'm going to do a little research on the faces of Mars and Cydonia. Would you like that?
Yeah.
So, because someone talked to me this week about the objects on Mars and their implications with Richard Hoagland, and whether who can, you know, how much trust do we put in people? And so, because I'll tell you that over a career of 28 years, which Richard Hoagland has, a career of 28 years, imagine it. There's a lot of things, if you're involved in this type of topic, that you're going to say and do and be a part of. So I've only been involved with it now for 9 months, and I could probably drop the mic right now and say, okay, that was a lot of stuff I just did. So, but we're going to hear about it because there are a lot of interesting things. So I told Bob it was a good research project, and he agrees. So we're going to do a little Mars research.
Yeah, because they sent up a lander too. Remember, I don't know what it was called, but I mean, if they did that, why couldn't they cruise over to the area that or even sent one, you know, or a satellite or something? I don't get it. Huh?
All right, we do have another caller on the line, Francis.
All right, my friend, I'm gonna let you go, and I think there's a caller. Am I talking to 331? No, 719.
Yes, you are, bro.
Hey, is that Gary?
Yeah, how you doing, Francis? And that dude that was just on, you just got your wish. Aliens are invading. The Mad Martian is here to slam into the moon.
Okay, well listen, Mad Martian. I just want to say hello first. Now, I talked to you earlier today and yesterday, and I did go review the very long page with all the information in there. And like I said, I think over the phone, what concerns me most is making sure that I don't find myself in a similar situation, i.e. Being asked to do research, and then if I were to find something, that wouldn't be followed up on. And I think that I want you to be as G-rated in theology as you can with this first time. Can you do that?
Yes, sir. It may be a little hard. I have a person, and yes, there's many grudges on me, but you know what? And especially last night, of course. And I've gotten over the recent news a little bit to deal with this a little bit better, whereas the past few days has been a little hectic, which we will get into. If not now, we will within the next coming up few weeks. And I appreciate you having me on and seeing the importance in this matter. Because, again, like I guess what you're referencing to there for the audience, for those that don't know, is there's an old video out there with some alien artifacts on them. And it's a video documentary that's part of a 13-part documentary over a span of 6 tapes. 6 and 13. Anyway, this documentary is called UFO Diaries. And it was scripted entirely, again, that magic code word, the script. But anyway, it was scripted entirely in 90. It was filmed in 93. And it's a really amazing video. Did you get a chance to watch that video, Francis?
I did watch parts of it. I'm going to tell you that the way it was narrated was tough on my brain.
Not my code renditions. And they are. When you look at my code renditions, think of it as like, remember those old shows where, you know, the old crime shows, oh my gosh, my kid got kidnapped, and they unravel a note, and it's all never handwritten. It's like cut out with newspapers to spell out the paragraph of what they want. It's like that, but listening to it. Now, if one could get by that letter to understand what it means, it's the same concept for this because it's code. And codes are never pretty. And I'm not a code guy, but this is how I have been led to put that out. What I'm referencing here, though, that I wanted you to see was the video itself, UFO Diaries, Cydonia, Discover the Earth-Mars Connection. And boy, what an Earth-Mars connection there is. It's like 22 minutes long. Very interesting concepts. No debunking tones in it, especially for that day and age, Francis and everyone else. A video that gets into the heart of research, even telling you facts of Mars that even mainstream wasn't pushing, like, you know, dust and bits and paper and debris thrown into the Mars Observer. I mean, you didn't hear about that till like almost 2000 as it was, you know, 98. Yeah,
Martian. I need you to either turn down the mic a little bit or just move your lips back a little bit.
Gotcha. I have a sensitive microphone on this phone. Yeah, sorry there.
I do the same
thing. Hear me okay, though?
I do the same thing, but we gotta try to get your sound to come across good, all right?
Okay, how about now?
It sounds better. Now listen, tell me what the issue is. Just cut to the quick, and then we're going to probably you're going to tell us, cut to the quick, you're going to tell us when your show on Late Night Midlands is going to be, and then we're going to probably have you come back after I do more research, okay?
All right, no problem. Well, this is stemming in that video, UFO Diaries Cydonia, Volume 3, okay, is other faces of Mars, which appear to be Viking-era images. You know, you have the Viking watermarks on 2 of them. One of them doesn't. And it kind of implies Mars Observer, but it leaves you hanging. As much as those pictures show you, anyway, they flash by so quick that you wouldn't even really see it. If you watch that video, you have to have a quick eye. But unless you freeze frame it and go, you know, frame by frame, put the scene together, you can see the big picture. Wink, wink. Now, an investigation was started into those pictures. I brought it to Richard Hoagland's website, which I was an honorary member of. By the way, people, honorary member of the Enterprise mission, and I was having my show on the air, the Martian Revelation radio show at that time, and a couple years previous to that. But it was 2006, I brought this to Richard Hoagland's attention on June 1st. And, you know, he encouraged investigation. I mean, this kind of, like you said, keep a long story short, he encouraged the investigation. I got the evidences and the proofs and his own words through his forum and from all that, of encouraging, you know, flying out the producers. He's too suave. He gave excuses right away to everyone on the public record on the second day that I brought this forth. Everyone he told all this about, but it turns out upon doing the serious legwork that he wanted someone to do, and me, I did. I got not just their names, Hoagland didn't do nothing with them, so I got them on the record on my show to ask them some questions. Well, very shocking details. Long story short, Hoagland provided those images. Hoagland was supposed to appear on the record on those shows with me and them. What happened? Hoagland, oh my God, there's a dust cloud running to those hills. Oh, what happened? I don't know. But for a year, even after when these guests were on, you know, Hoagland had started backtracking and everything. I got all the emails to prove it for a year. Look at the dates. The dates is very important. That's why I tell people, Francis, look at the dates on those letters and stuff and compare to the time to when, oh, all of a sudden me and my family need help, blah, 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 their prayers are with us. A year later, because I was banned. Banned why? Because I would not stop investigating into something he didn't want me to continue to do, though he taught me, since I was going to work for him now, mind you, in this time frame, a job. All right, we won't get into next time. I just want to talk about. But I would be working for him, and therefore I figured, all right, well, this is good too. It's more exposure to help him with these other faces. Maybe that's why someone put him there. But that's not the case. And the case has been brought up to avoid coming on the record with them. They're fakes. And then all these people coming down on me because they're fakes. Okay, well, there's the investigation to prove that. Hoagland taught me one thing, very important, and he's right. Investigate no matter where it leads or no matter who it leads to. He taught me a lot. And everything he taught me, all of a sudden, he backtracks and punishes me for doing the things he taught me to do because the investigation led him. You know, I don't know about you, Francis, but when you have 2 witnesses going, that's hey, I know this guy. We know him for years. He worked for us for many years. He provided those images. You know, why are you contacting me? He has them. He sounds like you and Richard want to do a video or something. No. Richard has them? No way. It can't be. But yes, both of them testified to that fact, and he's been running to the hills ever since. And for some reason, if they're fake, why do the things that was done to me to prevent me from investigating? I'm going to say it on the record here, Francis, and I appreciate you letting me. My show was set up. It was destroyed, okay? And so was me and my family. We were made to be homeless. This isn't slander like someone's doing, and we are looking into that, my friend. But I'll just say this. This is about an investigation of what someone demands to answer for. We demand the truth. I want these pictures. I waited over 5 years. I feel like I paid for them more ways than one, as well as my family, to deserve the truth of 3 images which may or may not have been fakes. If they were fakes, why go through all the hoopla of what I was put through? It doesn't make sense. And not only this, if you ever look at Hoagland's videos or, you know, buy this, buy that, All these ones, even back to 1992. Remember, this was filmed in 93. How come he never mentions UFO Diaries? Why doesn't he ever mention a video that he's more than a third of, that has other faces of Mars in it, no less, and then not want to come to the record to answer about it? If anything, just prevent, save face from looking like an ass and feeling embarrassed? Because he was in the video, and I did not want to make that impression for people to think that. That's why I kept going, well, maybe it's this, maybe, all right, well, I'll give you more time. We'll go along because I can understand he has secrets. If he has these images, it implicates a lot. I was never out to hurt him. He could have trusted me, but he chose not to.
Mad.
So it falls back on us all saying, okay, can we get some answers about these images, or can we at least get these images so we can move on with our lives and, all have a field day hunting Mars for the location of these images, which I'm sure he must know too, if he provided them. Now, I'm just telling you in a nutshell, sir, and everyone else, that's what my big problem is and what the issue is. An open investigation that needs to be closed.
Okay.
And without Hoagland, it cannot be closed.
Gary.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thank you for coming on and making this known. Not so much making it known, but this is what I want to offer you. I want to offer you, and I am interested in this topic, not so much in getting exactly what you want out of the situation, but I want...
Well, I hope to get the images and the truth, but go ahead, I feel you. You have every right to have your desires.
This has been a long time now. We're talking a long time, at least 6 years now.
Yes.
Is there new resources to revisit some of these imaged spaces? I mean, maybe we should restart the discussion back where it began before it even got to Richard Hoagland's name put on it. You know what I mean? Now, I know
there was none. Here's the thing, Francis. In 93, for some reason, it was never published in the U.S. It was only pushed in Germany. The Germans came to them with the idea to make this. They're involved somehow in this, the Germans. And they have two different versions.
There's no, I mean, if you wanted to, I mean, if it was more than just bringing Richard down or, just getting this closure for you, because I know how important closure is, and I'm not really there with you.
Especially to an investigation with other faces of Mars that no one's seen before or is in the public archives. Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
Well, let's do
100%.
Well, then, sometimes you have to go around the wall. You know what I mean, MAD MARTIan? And that's why
I've been around a lot of lows, my friend, and I'm up to doing anything to get the truth out, because that's my job to bring to everyone. I'm fighting for the truth, not just for myself, but for you all, too. If that could be made easier so we could get the truth, so be it. It would be worth it. Why? Because we would got it. We would get what we're looking for, right?
Right.
And then, therefore, that's worth it. And I stay true to myself, and therefore prove worthy to everyone else and to Hoagland. Not only was I worthy to work for him, because I had the balls to continue to do this, but I'd be proven worthy to have this show, the type of show I was trying to create, the type of vision I had for space and the Space Coast and the interaction of the Martian revelation, being upon us all, literally. It encompasses so many walks of life and flavors, and involves everything. But here's the thing. If they're secret images, too, and they're being kept from us, they're not in the public archives, and Hoagland has access to them, therefore, how did he get that access to them? This opens the questions to which I know he wouldn't want to talk about, and I can understand. All right, but that doesn't matter. All right, if we can get the truth, these images, hey, that's what started it for me. That's all I want.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
Even with all my grudges, that's all I want is these images, and just to reveal them to the world, because someone put them there. Someone wanted them to be seen. It ain't my fault what was said about them, who provided. I didn't make the damn video, So I was doing my job, and I just want to finish my job and prove myself worthy of following through my job. And I know someone went the gist of what I mean.
Well, no,
you got to stand tall. And that's what I like about you, Frank.
I have to stand tall. I have to stand tall even to you. I mean, I have to stand tall to everyone. And what I want to tell you is that your story interests me. I want to find out a little bit more. I may inquire myself. And if this is anything, this is a good thing for you. Maybe you don't get the closure that you want immediately, but at least there's more people that know now. But I don't want to go off the handle with it in a sense that...
Understood. You can go at it whichever level you feel, because like you said earlier to the other guest, you got to research it. You have to do some of the work. You have to do something. You know, everyone's wanting to be entertained, and everyone wants to be on the kill. And, you know, everyone can see that. Everyone wants, bring disclosure. but yet ask daring questions, even though it leads to big, high-profile personalities and such. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you might go through what happened to me, but if you don't give up, and you have hope, and you pray about it, and choose which side you're on of 19.5 and 33, the two sides at war with each other, one wants the truth out, one doesn't.
Okay.
Hoagland's very ingenious with his code writings. Don't misunderstand the things he says a lot of times.
No,
it's all coded.
I'm not, Gary, and that's what I wanted to say. Listen, I'm going to take callers for the last 30 minutes. I appreciate you calling. I hope you appreciate me letting you on. And I'm going to speak to you again off air, and we're going to have you come on again. But
okay, I like the sound of that. Thank you.
This is where I want to leave it. All right?
No problem. If you can, though, Francis, can you throw a link to that page so people can see what we're talking about, so they can see the images and all that, and the videos?
I will do that for you, and then I'll make sure that it's available as we're talking and I'm talking to you. I'm going to make sure that link goes out. So I thank you for calling, and I'm going to take another caller now. So have a great week.
Thank you. My handlers are starting to grab me again.
Okay, man. I'll see you later. Okay. Tracy, are you there?
Hi, Francis. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I let out a sigh. That was some unintended information that was half intended because it's going to lead me on some new research.
Well, that's always a good thing. You know, I don't know if this guy's right or not. He was definitely passionate about what he said. So it's not an accident. So I do understand why he thinks everything's pointing towards something. And then there's that movie UFO Diaries.
But anyways, Tracy, was there a specific question you wanted to ask from tonight's show? Did you enjoy tonight's show?
I enjoyed it very much, and I was just hoping my soft voice would calm things down a little bit.
Well, yeah, it calmed it down a little bit. I feel like
Great
I just
show, loved it.
I feel like I'm on Xanax now. You worked. Let's roll out the rest of the show just with questions, everybody, because I could just blabber on, but I think that's about it. I'm going to do some more research on Mars. I like Richard. He's my friend. We're going to watch and see, but people think that we shouldn't listen to him. But, you know, as we go along in the process, I'll probably, you know, his credibility will just have to be in question sometimes.
Well, I'm suspicious.
Go ahead.
Well,
Skyper, Tim,
Great.
Kid.
Well, a lot of the questions were for Mr. Hoagland when he was here, but maybe you can
and
answer.
I apologize for that to the listeners. I had to just hear him talk. Go ahead.
The guy Mars had called in. He was talking about some link or something, and my laptop took a dive just before. I don't know if anybody ever put it in the chat room or what, but I wouldn't mind taking a look at those myself.
I've got it. I know where it is, and I'm going to get it out there. When I'm talking, I never get in the chat. But he does have an old issue because he actually feels that Richard is holding back some images of new faces on Mars. So that's why he's really worked up, and he's been worked up for 5 years now. So, but I'm going to leave the link after I probably finally finish this show, and then. All
right. Well, I just didn't know if you'd already put it up or not. That's all. And besides, tomorrow's not. It's not going to matter after tomorrow anyway. Because didn't Mars say they were going to take down Facebook on Mars?
They did. I don't know.
No,
Anonymous.
Remember Anonymous? They're going to take down. Oh my God! You got like no humor. Anonymous says they're going to take down Facebook. All right. So faces on Mars. Anonymous is going to take down the Facebook on Mars. All right. Never mind.
Yeah, it's always over our heads.
This show,
over your head, but under your feet. So.
This show has had me nervous all day long. It just didn't, it wasn't the same kind of deal because I really have to go over some certain topics and then at the same time, make people realize that my opinion is different than what we're hearing from everybody else. And I sit back and I wonder to myself, how can everybody get to this place where they're at? It's easy for me to be me. It's got to be hard just making presumptions and just going with it and just spilling the beans. But I'll listen to it all day long. I'll even research it, and that's what my goal is. research.
Oh yeah, that's good. So,
this show has had me nervous all day long. It just didn't, it wasn't the same kind of deal because I really have to go over some certain topics and then at the same time, make people realize that my opinion is different than what we're hearing from everybody else. And I sit back and I wonder to myself, how can everybody get to this place where they're at? It's easy for me to be me. It's got to be hard just making presumptions and just going with it and just spilling the beans. But I'll listen to it all day long. I'll even research it, and that's what my goal is. Research.
Oh, yeah, that's good.